Welcome everyone. I'll be doing another amortization problem in this video. So take a look at this example. A woman borrows $7,000 at 12% compounded monthly, which is to be amortized over 3 years in equal monthly payments. For tax purposes, she needs to know the amount of interest paid during each year of the loan. Find the interest paid during the first year of the loan. All right, so to calculate this is a multi-step question. And we're going to break it down into steps. That way you know how to answer the question at the end. So first thing we know that it's a mortgage problem. So we have a loan of $7,000. So let's call that our P. P is going to be $7,000. Its interest rate is 12%, compounded every month. So that means we know R is 0.12 in decimal, and we know N is 12 because that's the compounding period in a year. That means your R over N value is 0.12 divided by 12. That's 0.01. And we know T is going to be, so this is to be amortized over 3 years period. So T is going to be 3. All right, so first thing we're going to do is calculate what is the monthly payment. So even before finding all of this, we do need to figure out what is the monthly payment, because the monthly payment will tell us what the person is paying every month, because some of that monthly payment goes towards interest and some of it goes towards the principal, towards the loan right here. So let's calculate that first. So using the present value of annuity formula, we know that R, the big R, that's the monthly payment. This is equal to P, that's the loan, times R over N over 1 minus 1 plus R over N to the power of negative N times T. So first thing we're going to do is calculate R. So remember, your big R is the monthly payment. So let's go ahead and figure this out. So that's our step number 1 into answering this question. So I'll substitute my values for P, little r, N, and T. So you'll have P, that's a 7,000. Let's go ahead and substitute that. 7,000 times R over N. Well, I already calculated that. That's right here. I'll substitute just that 0.01. Divide that by 1 minus, then 1 plus R over N. That's 0.01. To the power of N times T, that's negative 12 times 3. And if you want, you can just put that in as negative 36. Okay, so that's the first thing, calculating R. Now pull up a calculator and do this. So if you do 7,000 times 0.01, you're going to get 70. The denominator, so do this calculation first. Take 1.01, raise it to an exponent of negative 36, and then do 1 minus that value. You should get 0.30107,505. I believe that's the number. And then if you perform this division, you'll have your R to be 232.50 cents. So this is the person's monthly payment. So we know how much the person is paying every month. Now the next step to this problem is to calculate what is the unpaid balance after 1 year. So you've been paying, because we want to calculate eventually the interest during the first year of the loan. So that means let's find out what is the balance or the unpaid balance after 1 year. So the second thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate unpaid balance, which we're going to call it P, after 1 year, meaning the person has been paying for 1 year. Since the mortgage is for 3 years, we're going to be using T equals 2 because there's 2 years left on the loan to find that P value. So using the same formula again, but we're going to be plugging in R and solving for P and using T equals 2. So for this formula will be reused to find P, but we'll be plugging in R is equal to now 232.50. We know the R over N value, that's 0.01, that's from before. Now we're going to be using T is equal to 2 because we want to know how much is the balance after you've been paying for 1 year. So let's substitute these components now. So R, we know this is going to be 232.50. P we're looking for, R over N, that's 0.01. Divide that by 1 minus 1.01 to the power of negative 12 times 2. So again, be mindful, we're changing the T to a 2. So this tells us what's the balance is after you've been paying for 1 year. So let's calculate this. So we know 12, negative 12 times 2, that's going to be negative 24. So now let's do the calculation. So first thing we're going to do is find this number. So let's do 1.1 to the exponent of negative 24, then subtract 1 from it. So let's rewrite this. Is that on the left side, we have P times 0.01. And the denominator, this calculates to 0.212433872. Again, I'm writing as many digits as possible to have the best accuracy. Now I'm going to multiply this times that. And then after I get that number, I divide by 0.01. So that will give me P, or the unpaid balance, to be 4,939.0875. So that's your balance after 1 year. All right, so let's picture this. So we know that the loan is for 3 years. So let's say this is 3-year period. So this is 3 years period. Now we started the loan with $7,000. After paying for 1 year, now the balance, so let's say this is 0, P sub 0, that's the starting amount of the loan. And now after 1 year, let's call it P sub 1, the new unpaid balance is 4,939.0875. You can round, but I'm keeping it as it is. So now we're going to see how much did we really pay on the principal for the first whole year. So what is the payment here? In other words, I want to calculate how much went towards the principal for the first year when you've been paying $232 and change. So this is your step number 3, is to calculate. We're going to calculate how much was paid towards principal for the first year. So we need to do P initial, or the loan amount minus the unpaid balance after 1 year. We're calling it P sub 1. So this is 7,000 minus 4,939.0875. And that's going to give you your principal amounts that's been paid for the first year, about $2,060 and 246. That's what I get. So that's how much been paid for the first year. So that's the balance right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and calculate how much did we really pay on the interest. Now we can answer the question. So this is the last step you need to calculate. This is how much, the last question, how much was paid on interest on the first year. Okay, so we're going to see, well, how much we've been paying. Well, we're paying $232.50. I believe that was the number right here. So that's how much you're paying. That's your monthly payment. So we take our monthly payment, multiply by 12, because you're paying every month. There's 12 months in a year, minus the amount that went to principal on the first year, that 12 months. So that's 2060.9146. And then if you do this, you're going to get a number of 729.0875. In other words, you can round this to near a cent now, 729.9 cents. So this is how much was paid on interest on the first year. So a little bit of work, but I hope this makes sense. Take care, everyone.